Keep It Clean. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Thank you for just being willing to listen. I know in the last episode got a little deep, and I know it, but it did strike a lot of positive chords with people. Just reading through the comments and getting a lot of direct feedback from people too, like via Twitter DMs and stuff, and Instagram DMs and whatnot. Because a lot of people, they went through not the exact same situation, but very similar situations to what we went through. And that's unfortunate, but hey, it's part of life, so we just got to deal. But I definitely appreciated how, even though a lot of us could relate to the same things with our fathers being absent, we didn't take that out on our kids. And we definitely put in that much more effort to really be there for our kids, because that's important, man. It's super important. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody sharing their experiences. I don't always get a chance to respond to the comments, but I do read them. So I appreciate y'all. Much love to all of y'all, man. Seriously. And keep doing the good job that you've been doing. Because we appreciate it on here, but your kids, they will appreciate it that much more. And I even had somebody said that they were gonna just reach out to their father. They said they were gonna just reach out to their father, just to hit him up. And then I had one dad share his experience of how he's gonna be playing the video games more with his kids, and just to really find that thing that really connects you with their kids, and with your kids, it's like a lot of times it's not even about the materialistic stuff; it's about the time, and it's crazy. I mean it's not even crazy because it just makes sense, because one of those things you can always replace, but the other one you can't. And kids, it's like kids, they know that without knowing that, because you could lose something materialistically. You could lose money, you could lose an item, you could lose with a TV, you could lose a game, you could lose a car, you could lose so much stuff, but you can get that all back. It may take time, man, but you can get all of that back. But time, nope, can't get the time back. You can't. And real quick, before we get into this episode, shout out to Manscaped. Shout out to our sponsor, Manscaped. You can hit them up. Go to manscaped.com and use code KeepItClean. I know one of my guys, he just sent me the screenshot where he used code KeepItClean. And I told y'all that 20%, it goes a long way. So you can get 20% off, and you get free shipping too. Set. I'm telling you, the only thing better is free. That's the only thing that would be better. Use code KeepItClean. So anyway, today is, I'm actually recording this on Wednesday morning, March 31st. And man, this has been quite a month, man. This has been a crazy month. It's been a very busy month, a very productive month, but a very crazy, busy, and productive month. On the Ingravenvids channel, we did hit 40,000 subscribers, so that's a really cool milestone. That was just, it's crazy. It's very, very crazy, but I appreciate just the support from a lot of people. It's a large amount of support, and it's great, man. It's a great feeling to know that people rocking with you. And then of course it's still some people that's not rocking with us, which is fine. I'm trying to what was it? Oh, okay, that's what it was. Because remember, we used to have the little segment on here, like, it wasn't really an official segment, but it was something that we would talk about once a week, because we would have those the negative comment of the week, and just to think about it and just really laugh at it. And one of the ones that we got, it wasn't this past week, it was 2 weeks ago. I forgot to talk about it. Well, we started talking about the father stuff, and yeah, that was so far away from the YouTube and football and all that. But anyway, there was a comment on a video where a guy was like, I should have screenshotted it so I could quote it word for word. But he was like, man, I don't know why this channel keeps popping up in my recommendations. This guy is lame. So I looked at it, and then I told you, YouTube have a feature, and YouTube, they be making some mistakes, but they be making some progress too. But YouTube has a feature where you can click on somebody's profile, and it will show you every video that they've commented on of yours. And so there was that video. That comment that he left saying that I was lame and that he don't know why this comes up in his recommendations. He don't even know why, because the channel's lame and I'm lame. So I looked, and he commented on 5 recent videos. One of them was saying, I don't know why the Ravens cut LJ Ford. They need to bring him back. And some other ones were just talking about some other stuff with the Ravens and some moves they were making. So I'm thinking, like, hold up. This guy, he called me lame and said he doesn't know why my videos are popping up in his recommendations, but he's the one that's been watching them. And not just watching them, but commenting on them too. So he's been interacting with our videos, but he's calling us lame. So I just laughed at it, and I was just, oh boy, that literally makes no sense whatsoever. But that was that. I just shout out to YouTube, because YouTube it just shows that feature that really it can really make some people look foolish. It really can. So that was a funny moment from a couple of weeks ago. I had another one, but I really cannot remember it right now. I really can't. But anyway, and then there was one where it wasn't a negative comment though. It was just everybody had to share their input, because I forgot which video it was, but we were talking about Hollywood. We were talking about all the different Ravens players that have been calling out the Ravens offense and whatnot, and we brought back up the Hollywood tweet where he said, hey, what's the point of having soldiers if you ain't gonna use them? And I did not remember, like I was like, I know it's from Paid in Full, but I didn't remember whether Paid in Full was a Beanie Siegel movie or was a Cameron movie. And boy, everybody in the comment section, they was like, no, it was Cam. It was Cam. It wasn't Beanie. Or was it Beanie? You know what? I still forget. But everybody in the comment section, they were correcting me on that. But they were doing it politely though, so that it wasn't nothing bad. I had appreciated it, because I really didn't remember. I really did not remember, but yes, everybody gave me the friendly reminders. So shout out to Team Keep It Clean. And I say it in a lot of videos because I definitely want to let people know that it is appreciated. But I do seriously appreciate the respect that people show each other. I even yesterday, Raven salary cap. That's Brian McFarlane, if y'all know who that is on Twitter. He always put in updates to Raven salary cap, different moves that they make. He figures out how it impacts their salary cap. So he's a very, very good, informative follow on Twitter. Now, yesterday he had tweeted something about the whole Earl Thomas thing. He had quote tweeted a report. I think he's actually part of Russell Street Report. I'm not 100% sure, but he had quote tweeted a report about Russell Street Report, and how they were talking about the Ravens being like financially smart, something like that. Oh, the Godzilla vs. Kong movie came out today. I didn't know that. Oh, cool, man. I wanted to watch that. But anyway, he tweeted out something about the Ravens being financial. Oh no, the report was from Russell Street Report, but he quote tweeted it and said that he's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. That the Ravens. Okay, here it is. All right, so from Tony Lombardi. That's who it was from. So that's who the report was from on RussellStreetReport.com. And it was Tony Lombardi said, my latest on Russell Street Report explains why the Ravens have been selective in free agency. The latest on Earl Thomas and why Eric DeCosta has had a great offseason so far. And then Brian McFarland, he quote tweeted and he said this: "They aren't being cheap. This is something I've been trying to convey. The Ravens have to be mindful of the Earl Thomas grievance and the cap implications of that. There's also the possibility of an extension for Lamar Jackson or Mark Andrews, both for which they'll need additional cap space." So, what he was saying with that, he said the Ravens are not being cheap. I know I've talked about on the channel, on the Ingravenvids channel, about how cheap the Ravens are, especially when it comes to the wide receiver position. I have talked about how the cap is cap, and that there are ways around it, as we see with so many different teams. And I'm not saying that he was coming at me with it, but back to what I was talking about with respect, is that somebody said the Ravens have been cheap even before the whole Earl Thomas thing. The Ravens were still cheap. And then somebody replied to him, they were like, "So I guess we got a good deal on that pair of Super Bowls then, right?" And he said, "Yep, we did. You tell me, when have we been big spenders?" So I responded to him with that big spenders comment and said, yes, specifically at the wide receiver position, which is crazy because that's where the Ravens have struggled the most over the years. So I was saying that they have been cheap at the wide receiver position, and that's where it's been rough there. And y'all know we talk about that in the videos all the time, about their cheapness at the wide receiver position. Because with the Ravens, how do you explain it? It's been rough. Like under Ozzie Newsome with the wide receiver position, they haven't spent much money there, but they've continued to struggle there. It's always turnover there. It's always question every single year. What are the Ravens going to do at the wide receiver position? Wide receiver position, it has to be better. It needs to be better. They need more production out of it. They need higher quality out of it. It's a question every single year. Every single year. And I would look at some of the more significant wide receivers that the Ravens has signed over time. I didn't look at Derrick Mason's deal, but I looked at Anquan Bolden's deal. I was like, okay, that they paid him a significant amount of money. And then Steve Smith Sr. was like, I believe he was a close second. But other than that, no, it's been a lot of one-year guys. It's always the cheap older veteran guy. It's never a guy in his prime. It's never a guy who's been that guy at wide receiver before recently. It's always an over-the-hill guy that they can get for a bargain. But anyway, there was a lot of people who had responded to the original guy's comment, to my comment, and there was back and forth, not arguing, but people were sharing their different viewpoints. And there were some people that were like, well, hey, maybe he should have really specified that he was speaking about the Ravens being cheap at wide receiver, because some of them were like, well, the Ravens certainly aren't cheap because look at the Ronnie Stanley deal, the Marlon Humphrey deal. They made Tavon Young the highest paid slot corner. And Brian McFarland said that many Ravens fans will try and tell you that Brandon Williams is overpaid. He said Jonathan Ogden, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed were always paid well, and the Flacco deals too. So there was a lot more than that too, but people were giving their different viewpoints on the subject. But and even though people were disagreeing, everybody didn't have the same viewpoint on it. There was never any disrespect. There was never any name calling. There was never anybody, oh, well, that's stupid, you're dumb, and oh, you idiot, and that. There was none of that. So I took it upon myself at the end of the after everybody finished giving their viewpoints on everything, and I said, I don't mean to make the moment all sappy or anything like that, but I really appreciate the fact that everybody was showing respect to each other. And even though there were disagreements, there were some misunderstandings, there was never a lack of respect. So, and I told everybody that I appreciated them for that, man. Because you don't get that nowadays, man. You don't get that. You don't get where people, especially on Twitter, because I was on Twitter. So with tweets, unless you make all your tweets private, like anybody could jump in and get in on that too. But there's and with especially with Brian McFarlane, he has a big following on Twitter. He has a very big following on Twitter. He has 10,000 people, 10,600 people that follow him. So that's 10,600 people that could jump in and be like, oh, these guys, but nobody did that, man. Nobody did that. And I always, because I'm so used to it. We are so used to it. We're so used to where if we have a disagreement with somebody, especially online, oh gosh. In person is different, but online, oh god, because a lot of people online can be very toxic. A lot of people online can be very negative, and a lot of people online can just be very unnecessary with a lot of stuff. And when it comes to arguments and disagreements, it always happens almost without fail that it's going to be somebody that just they have to get nasty with it. Just because they don't agree with something that somebody said or something that somebody did, they got to get nasty with it. But to have a conversation, to be able to have a conversation with multiple people, not just one back and forth. No, there was multiple people in that conversation. And y'all can go check it out for yourselves if you want to on Twitter, but there were multiple people in the conversation, and for everybody, not one person, even if person A didn't agree with person B, or person person A and B didn't agree with person C, there were multiple people that didn't agree with the original comment, but they all kept it respectful. And that goes such a long way. For real, it goes such a long way. So that was a very a nice moment yesterday, and I always appreciate those moments, because it's always I always tell people that too. Like if I'm talking to somebody, whether we talking about Ravens or we talking about something else, whatever we talking about, if we talking about something online, and we say, for instance, we disagree on something. And we see this thing from two polar opposite ends of the spectrum. But if we going back and forth, not arguing, but just going back and forth, hey, this is why I feel this way. Oh, and then he tells me or she tells me this is why I feel this way. At the end of the day, I always let them know, like, hey, I appreciate you sharing your viewpoints on it respectfully. Thank you for that. Because it's a lot of times when you don't get that. So, shout out to y'all, man. Anyway, like I said, today is March 31st. Right now, the time is 8:25 a.m. And Carter woke up early this morning, man. He woke up early this morning. I think his allergies were just bothering him. So I gave him a little bit of allergy medicine. And then I said, Carter, just go take a shower, man. Because sometimes you just need that shower to just be refreshed. Like, okay, I feel better. So he took a shower, he got out, he felt better. And he was like, this is the earliest that he's been ready for school in a long time, man. Because, he was, all the way up, teeth brushed, ready to go by 7:50. That never happens. Not that early. And, when he's all the way up, oof, that was weird. And he went to sleep, last night, 11, I think. So I don't know what it was, but shout out to Carter. He he was on spring break last week, y'all know. Well, actually, maybe y'all don't know, but yeah, he was on spring break last week, so that was really nice. Not having to get up for his school, not having to deal with his school. I don't have any stories about the teacher because they had a week off. So that's cool. But no, I just got one little thing. It's one little thing that I don't agree with, and I'm not trying to just pile it on or anything like that, but I don't think that I ever expressed this to you all because we had ended up talking about so many other things with the teacher, but it's just a small thing that I feel like is kind of pointless, but in the mornings when the kids log on, and this will be before school even starts. So this will be before they actually start doing class and before they do the morning announcements, before all of that. kids they'll be logging on because you got to log on to the meeting. So they'll be logging on and whatnot. And before the class starts, they'll be talking to each other. They'll be like, hi, good morning. They'll be laughing, joking around with each other. And I appreciate when they do that, because even the situation, I mean, it is kind of a new normal, but it is not normal. But that helps make the situation as normal as it can be for the kids. And them engaging with each other, even though it is online, but them engaging with each other can help a lot. It can help them a lot, because they can become, I guess, sort of online schoolmate friends or whatever. And that may motivate them to do even better in the class, in my opinion. Because they'll be like, oh, my friend who I was just talking to this morning, oh, they're doing their work, let me do my work too. Oh, they're doing good, let me do good too. Oh, the teacher said, oh, such and such, oh, you're doing a good job. Or, you know what, let me do a good job too, because I want the teacher to tell me the same thing. So that can help. But what the teacher does, and she'll be like posted up in the background, but so her camera won't be on yet. But the kids, if they'll be talking to each other in the morning, they'll be like, hi, good morning, and laughing and joking. She'll be like, quiet. Turn your microphones off, please. And I'm like, why? Wow, why would you do that? I don't agree with that. Cause again, it's the morning time, and it's like, I know Carter he not a morning person. He is not. Me, I ain't really a morning person either. But since I'm older now, then I would say, oh, hey, good morning, blah, blah, blah. But I ain't no morning person. I ain't gonna wake up and be like, da, 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 hey, yeah, good morning, and be singing and not. No, nope. Well, unless I'm getting ready to go to a Ravens game that day. But besides that, no. Cause man, I just like, morning time ain't my thing. But it's the same way with Carter, man. Carter will wake up and he won't be all the way there yet. So teacher, like even this morning, she said hi to him. She said, oh, hey, Carter, good morning. You did a very good job on your sentences yesterday and your picture and da 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 da. She's like, good job, Carter. He just sitting there looking at her. And then I think he was like, thanks, like really low. And just really kind of like soft or whatnot. And he don't feel like having all these conversations in the morning. That's just not him. At least with school. But there are a lot of kids who do want to have those conversations. They want to talk to each other. They want to try to make it normal. It's like people at an office. People at an office, they get to work. They may be in the break room making their coffee or something. Hey, Jim, what's going on? Hey, Scott, how's it going, man? How was dinner last night? Oh, Jim, it was great. And they'll be going back and forth talking about this and that. But, so that's that conversation. And we as people, I feel like we need to have conversation. We need to just have that greeting. And it's something so simple, but it could go a long way. But when she tells the kids, oh, no, stop talking. Mute your microphones. Please don't talk. It's like that. I don't think that makes any sense, like, at all. And I kind of like I get if it was okay, maybe like I don't want the class to get rowdy or something. I don't want them to get riled up. I don't just. But even still, man, like it's on Zoom, man. I mean, no, it's on Teams, whatever it's on. It's online, and you as the teacher, you as the host of the meeting, she has the ability to mute everybody. So even if, like, say for instance, the kids, they going back and forth and they talking and they laughing, even if they getting excited or whatnot, you could be like, okay, kids, we're getting ready to start class now. You could let them know like that. Okay, kids, we're getting ready to begin class now. You can let them know, okay, let's quiet down. And maybe say that a couple times. And then, hey, worst case scenario, if they don't listen, if they still joking around, going back and forth, boom, you press a button, you mute everybody. That's it. But to tell them, okay, no hate, if they start talking with each other and you in the background, like class ain't even started yet. Class ain't even started yet. You have not began teaching a lesson yet. But you in the background like scoping and whatnot and watching and waiting for them to say something and stuff ain't even get started yet. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think it to me that doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is, man. So that's just something I feel like it's like small and big at the same time. I feel like it's not the hugest of the huge deal. It's not a big deal, but I feel like it could go a long way. And for that to be stopped, I feel like it just takes away from the kids, because a lot has already been taken away from the kids enough as is. Like Carter even said the other day, and he was like, I think he's like, I miss playing with my friends. So it's just I think it's starting to hit him a little more now. Like before, yeah, it's starting to hit him a little more now, a little more, because things are just it's different. It's very, very different, and even though it's been like this for a while, and we've seen some people here and there, but for Carter, for kids, he's seen some of his friends, but he doesn't see them at the rate that he used to. So that's starting to hit him a little more now. He's fine and everything. He ain't walking around sad or anything like that. He's fine. He's still an extremely happy kid, and that's one thing, man. Carter, I told my wife the other day, man, because he was just being like super annoying. But I told her, like, at least he's happy, man. Could be one thing if he was being like whiny annoying, but he was just being like super excited and happy annoying. So I was like, whatever, I'll take it. It is what it is, and it's crazy too, because with Carter, and I know this happens with a lot of parents too, but with me, with Carter, sometimes he can be really annoying. He can be really annoying, like, oh man, shut up. But then when he's sleeping, then I miss him. If I'm like looking at him like sleeping, I'm like, oh, that's my little baby boy, man. So then I give him a hug, give him a kiss on his forehead or something. That'd be that. But it's like I think it's kind of funny how that works itself out. But other than that, man, things are going pretty good with him. His reading has just, wow, man. It's crazy. And I told y'all this before too, because I remember having a conversation with my mom before Carter was born, and I don't know if she asked me if there was anything I was nervous about, or I just told her, but that is one thing that I was so nervous about. Like, that's one thing that I was like worried about. And it was sort of like it obviously much different situations, but sort of how I felt like about his eye surgery. Like, I was very worried about it. I felt like everything was going to come out fine, but at the same time, I was still worried about it. And that's how I felt with Carter, with him learning how to speak and learning how to like read and write and all of that. Because I'm like, we going to have like a baby. This was when my wife was pregnant, before Carter was born. And I was thinking like, man, we're going to be parents. We're going to have a baby. And this baby is going to come in and he's not going to know anything. He's not going to know anything. He's not going to know how to speak, how to read, how to think, how to do this, how to do that. And we're going to have to teach him. Like, yeah, school does too, but we're really going to have to teach him how to speak, how to read, how to write. And I was like, oh, wow. I was thinking, oh boy, whoa, that's kind of scary, man. And my mom, she told me, like, no, all that'll come. It'll all come. She told me not to worry about it. I still worried about it a little bit, but as time went on, it's just crazy to think that somebody who, again, they come into the world, and I mean, it happened to all of us too, because none of us are born and being like, okay, I'm ready to read and write and da da da. But it's crazy to think that somebody that you're responsible for, like a life that you're responsible for. They came into the world not knowing anything, knowing nothing. They did have natural instincts, like to cling to the mom and stuff, and of course with feeding and all that. But somebody who came into the world with a clean slate, empty slate of knowledge, empty slate of just knowing how to speak, empty slate of it. And now they can read, they can write, they talking. It's so crazy, like, to when you like really think about it, like really think about it. And then you think about the different stages. You think about, like, they were a little baby, they couldn't even walk anything, but they were like, they just making noises, they're crying, they start laughing, smiling, all of that stuff. But then they start saying words. They start saying words, and then they start saying sentences, and they just start developing. It's like one of the craziest things, man. It's one of the craziest things, but it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to watch it. It's a beautiful thing just to that experience, man. And when you experience that with somebody from the beginning, and just to watch the growth, you really appreciate it, man. So right now, his reading has it's just been getting better and better, man. It's been getting better and better, and like I told him too now, because I know Carter loves some video games, man. He loves some video games. That Switch, that was definitely a great investment when I first bought it years ago. And I really bought it because there was a game that I had loved, but I knew Carter loved it too. And it was more so for him, though, because I remember we would go to GameStop sometimes. Years ago, he was like, what was he, like 2? I think he was like late 2, maybe early 3. No, he had to be like 2. Yeah, I think he was like 2. But we would go to GameStop, and inside of GameStop, he would come in there with me. And he saw this game, Mario Odyssey. He saw this game on the Switch, and he would walk up to the little station, and if nobody was playing it, he would get on there and play it. And if somebody was playing it, he would stand there and watch and wait till they finish, and he would start playing it. And with Mario, like y'all know, with Mario been around for a little minute, and a lot of it is 2D. So it's like just you go left and you go right. You go left, right, up, down. That's it. That's how a lot of Marios will be. Not all of them. A lot of recent ones, obviously, they came a long way. But this Mario was open world. You go up, down, left, right, but you also go front, back. It's 3D. So you could do a lot of things with Mario that you wouldn't be able to normally do. So that's what got me on it. And I'm like, man, this game does look fun. So I started messing around with it a little bit in the GameStop too. But Carter, he messed with it a lot more. And so he loved it, man. And he would play it every time we went to GameStop. He would play it. And that's all that he would want to do. So I a little while after that, I ended up buying a Switch, and surprising no one. Like what I did, I bought the Switch, hooked it up to the TV, and I think he was in the room or something. He might have been in the bedroom. So I hooked it up to the TV in the living room and turned it on. And then I like, oh, Carter, come here. And I had the game on already. So then he came out and was like, oh. So yeah, and he loved Mario Odyssey. And then from that point on, just anything Mario, man. Just went and got it, man. Anything Mario, Carter was with it. Anything Mario. Like, that dude loved Mario stuff. He loves Sonic stuff. And he loves Avengers stuff, too. Like, his favorite Avenger is the Hulk. So any video game where, like, he can be the Hulk, oh, he's with it. Because the Hulk just be destroying stuff, just running up, smashing stuff. And so, oh yeah, that's Carter right there, man. Oh, and he used to love dinosaurs a lot more. Like now he's like, about dinosaurs. He used to like really love dinosaurs, love them. But now he's like whatever about it. But his things right now, yeah, definitely Mario. Oh, and Legos too. He loves Legos. Even though right now he been whatever about Legos. He ain't really been playing with his Legos like that. But Mario, Sonic. Oh yeah, he's into Pokemon now too. Oh, that boy loves him some Pokemon now too, man. That boy went all through Netflix. Love Pokemon. Oh, and he loves Super Smash Brothers. So he kind of like almost getting into this like little anime phase or whatnot a little bit. But anyway, yeah, he's doing good. But what I told him, see, this happens every time. We start talking about one thing, and then we go to a whole nother world. But we bring it back too now. But what I had told him was that, like, Carter, with these video games that you play, because he'll be playing like, if he'll playing like a story mode or something. Dad, what does that say? Dad, what's going on? I say, Carter, just read it, man. That's what I was telling him before, and I was like, see, this is why you got to learn how to read, because it'll make these games that much more fun. I mean, you can tell him all day, like, Carter, yeah, he's supposed to be learning how to read and stuff, and he has been learning how to read. I mean, it's a process. You never really stop learning how to read, but we'll tell him, see, that's that, like, sort of that incentive, man. These games will be they'll be even more fun if you learn how to read and you can read what's going on. So now he's been doing that, and he's been getting like a lot more enjoyment out of the games. He's been able to like read the characters' names and stuff, read what they're saying and whatnot. When we watching TV or something, because we watch TV with the captions on, he'll be like reading stuff on there. So it's hard to keep up with now. It's definitely hard for him to keep up with. So he'll like read a couple of words out of different captions and whatnot, and he'll be like, oh, that says this and that says that and da da da. So we're really proud of him, man. He's doing a really, really good job. And I think just being able to, for him, being able to do that stuff, and I think it really makes him feel accomplished, and really makes him feel a part of, just more of a part of what's the word? Not more of a part of a family. I guess it just makes him feel more accomplished. Because it's like, oh yeah, we watching TV and I can read what they saying on the TV. Yeah, I can read it. So it just makes him feel like that much more mature, I guess. But he loves it, and we love it too, because he's doing a really, really good job. Like, we'll be reading. Like, oh, even last night, we were reading something in the Bible, and he read the whole thing, and he read it really good. And I love, too, how with Carter, if he's reading something, he'll read it, and if he messes up on a word, and if he knows he messes up on a word, too, then he may read it wrong the first time, but then he'll go right back and fix it and read it the right way. And Carter, like, he seems to be he seems to be like a perfectionist almost. To where I might tell Carter, no, it's like, okay, if we're writing, like it happened yesterday. We were writing, and he was writing I think the teacher told him to write about what he did on spring break, and he was like, I went to the beach, I went to the playground. But for one of his letter I's, his capital letter I's, he wrote it. And so you write the line straight down, and you write the two lines across, one on top, one on bottom. But for the one on top, the line that goes vertically, it was going through the line that goes horizontally on top. So it was like, it didn't look like a T on the top, but it could have looked like it a little bit, because the vertical line was a little above. It went through the horizontal line, and it was a little above it. So Carter was like, that doesn't look like an I. And I was like, nah, I said, it's okay. It ain't no big deal. I was like, let's just keep writing. Just keep going. He's like, that doesn't look like an I. So he erased it and he wrote it over. I said, okay, I can't be mad at that, man. He wanted to fix it, so he fixed it. But he likes, even yesterday too. 2 days ago, he was doing a reading assignment. He was doing a reading assignment where he has to read a book, and it's about reading comprehension. And I really like when he does these, but he has to read a book, and then after he reads the book, he has to answer 5 questions that are about that book. They're multiple choice. So he did it, and he got 4 out of 5 right. Now he passed, and the app let him know, like, hey Carter, good job, you passed. You did miss one, but you passed. So he could have been done with the assignment, but what he did, he went back and he went to go fix the one that he got wrong. He went to go answer the one that he got wrong and get that one right so he could have that perfect score. And I didn't even tell him to do it. After he passed, I was like, okay, cool, good job. You passed, but you did get one wrong, but you still did a good job. But he just, and I ain't say nothing to him. I ain't say, all right, Carter, go back and fix that. Nope. But he went back and he fixed that himself. He was like, nah, I want the perfect score on this thing, so I'm going to get the perfect score on this thing. So I appreciate that, though. But anyway, he's doing a really good job. So that's that with Carter. My wife, her job, they've been very, very busy. But again, it's a good thing. It is a good thing. So some days more than others could be a little draining on her, because it can be a lot some days. But she's doing a really good job. She's doing a really good job handling it. She trains people sometimes, so that's really cool. I'm really, really proud of her too, man. Really, really proud of her, 'cause she's doing a really, really good job. She really holds it down, man. She holds it down, 'cause her job, like I said, it can be very demanding. But she's with it, so she takes care of business. So shout out to her, man. But the family is good. Everything's good. And again, shout out to y'all. Hope everything is good with y'all too, man. Because it's a lot going on out there in this world, in this system, and a lot of it is just a mess. It's a mess. But y'all stay up, man. Be there for each other. Again, check on people, check on your family, check on your friends, check on your people, man, because they need it. They need it. I always like to send out just random texts to people who I might not have hit up in a while. For some people I do like random calls too, but a lot of it just mostly like random texts. Even for like people on YouTube, sometimes I just some of my YouTube guys, I hit them up real quick, send them like a DM or something just to check on them, see how they doing, man. Just to make sure, because I know it can be a lot. It can be a lot. Like even like for some that I know that do this full time, check on them, because it can be a lot. That's the best way to put it. And even some that don't do it full time, but they trying to use it to sort of plateau themselves to other avenues and whatnot, to check on them too, because then there's that balance. There's that balance between, I guess, what you work, because they may have a regular secular job, and then that balance between their work and their passion, and how you can successfully do both, because that can be tough and that can be very draining on them. So again, you got to check up on people, check up on them, because just being, and sometimes some people just need an outlet. They just need to get stuff out. They just got to be like, oh, okay, well, all right, well, I need somebody to talk to, because not everybody got somebody to talk to. They don't. Not everybody has that friend to talk to. Not everybody has a spouse, a brother, a sister, mother, father. Not everybody got that. So if you could be there for somebody, try to do it. Team, keep it clean. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Again, thank you as always for listening, and we out.